This time I will demonstrate how you can resize pictures and other image types automatically. We can see here that as I click on them, the pixel resolution is 3000 by 2300. That's almost unusably large, unless you were using this in some kind of image editing program that would allow you to scale it. This would almost be unusable if you were to try to print it out if it was any other type of file. Recall the picture examples I had of the Kepler supernova, which is ridiculously huge. If I were to try to print this colorful thing out on paper, it would be several feet by several feet wide. And so one of the ways you can do this is a program called Imagicon. You can see its webpage up here for Devious Codeworks. Relatively useful, or relatively low impact and extremely useful. Just clicking on its download will bring it to you as part of the regular downloading progress instead of directing you to another window. And so here we can see the Imagicon setup. I will click Next, agree with the terms. Now this one, you may not actually run anything else by Devious Codeworks, so you can just delete the company name from the file name, just install it as it is to the C program files as the program's name itself. It says it's been installed and it automatically put a shortcut on the desktop. I'm going to click on it. So now we have it here. This program relies entirely upon dragging and dropping image files here. And you can see in the option settings, this one is customizable by being able to change the final image size. If you wanted to, you could specify a X and a Y dimension. Say if you were wanting to print this out at, 640 by 480 pixel resolution, you could be able to do that. And if you wanted to, you could also constrain the proportions so that whatever X value you enter, the Y will follow suit. The rest of these you don't need to worry about too much. The horizontal flip and the vertical flip are almost self-explanatory. It will flip the image either vertically or horizontally. If you wanted to, you can rip the color entirely out of the picture and convert it to just black and white. Right now, though, I'm just going to use the slider and change the final image size to about 50%. And in the case of the file type, I want to have it retained as a JPEG type of file. If it's anything other than a PEG, it will be converted to a JPEG file. I can also change the quality. Obviously, the higher quality ratio, the better quality the picture will be. And if I wanted to, I could change the file name from whatever the current file name is to whatever the converted file name will have this appendaged to it. Now that that will be appended to it, I can be able to tell, say for example, when I tell it to do the save directory, if I would drag and drop a file in here, it will by default keep it in whatever folder the file originated from, or I can choose to tell it a folder that it will save everything to. In this case, I'm going to keep it in the source image folder because I told it to append the files, so I don't need to worry about them overwriting the originals. And as far as file, you can choose to open things, but it's easier to just drag and drop them on there. So in the case of pictures, I'm going to drag and drop each of these on there, and it will result in one of each of these as it compresses each one into the new file. We can see from each one that the resolution is being cut roughly in half. If I wanted to be exactly specific, I would have moved the slider bar to exactly 50%. Now we see here that it says it's done. If I go here and choose to refresh the files, it will arrange each of them by name. We can see that this aperture one has been renamed to aperture new and is now a JPEG file, consuming significantly less memory on the hard drive. However, the resolution has been cut almost in half. If I choose to view the image, though, they are almost completely identical. Here we see the original, here we see the new one. The same thing for the Aurora Borealis and the new one. On the computer, the original and the new one take up almost the exact same screen size. However, if I choose to display the actual size, even for the new one, it's still rather large, but not as large as the original was. This is especially noticeable in the Kepler supernova picture. This being the original, this being the new one. No real difference whatsoever between the two.